Welcome back to another episode of Unrated Podcast. What are we talking about this week? It's just the results from the Minnesota game. Michigan obviously went in and handled business pretty easily. Had Harbaugh posing with the turnover buffs, the pick six, 2 plays into the game. We're gonna talk about that a little bit and talk about just Indiana and just what that matchup looks like for this week. And then, per usual, dive into the Lions as well, talk about how they looked against the Panthers, handling business there. And then also talking about it, in our opinion, we kind of jumped on and talked about already before jumping on here. It's just a sneaky, tough matchup with the Buccaneers in prime time, that 4:00, 4:25 slot. So let you kick it off just with the Minnesota game, E. And to see your thoughts on what you saw on this past weekend.
Yeah, I think just a masterpiece. I think that was just a master class in how to go on the road and win in the Big Ten. And they imposed their will the entire game. I think the second play of the game was a pick six. Followed that up with a 3-and-out. We went right down the field, scored again. It was 14-0 with I think 32 in the first quarter. So we got on a quick, fast, and kind of continued to do that. Even the 52-10 is for as much of a blowout as that is still also misleading. They got a little drive, that BS touchdown right before half. This easily could have been a 52-3 game. And we had our, just our imposing our will on them. You hear the way that PJ Fleck talked about us, and just how well coached we are, how many people played on the team. They didn't necessarily know what to do. We were, kind of just throwing our weight around, and I think that's, a masterpiece. I'm very thorough.
Yeah. And even with that touchdown, I'll just add, they're in the wrong defense because they thought that they're going to try to kick it, and you should have usually just been in that deep third, just kind of covering the, rest of the, cover the entire field and have everybody heels on the end zone, basically. So for what it's worth, it's that's just, that's probably the one miscue, in the entire game, just off of even, they're very fluke. I even got that touchdown. But yeah, I think I just go back to the depth part of things. I think this is just one of the first teams I've seen in a very long time that just, you just look at who's out there and what's going on. Once again, Khalil Mullins just run the football at a high level. I hate to say this, I love Donovan Edwards. I think Khalil Mullins is RB2 now. I don't know if it's just something about how Edwards is running, not running hard enough, but how Khalil, he's, kind of has more that Haskins mold that I think is more up, Harbaugh and them's alley. Corum, he can do, Corum is who he is. We already know what he brings to the table, but you got Mullins on, doing that. You got Keon Saab getting the other pick six. He's getting some serious playing time, with the ones. And I don't know, it's just great to just see. Yeah. You got, just the depth, at a receiver. You got the, freshman, Samaj Morgan. I think he had a catch or two. I'm just impressed. Even the transfer from the tight end, Hibner from Indiana, he coming on a little bit. Every time JJ drop back and throw that ball, it's a new, it's just another threat.
No new connection.
Defense side of the ball. We just rotate in the linemen and just keep it. They just get to eat, just feast. We got Mason Graham out there with a club on, destroying people. And depth is just it's been great to just see how they've kind of turned it up a notch a little bit. I think things really humming. I think Harbaugh need just kind of get back in the swing of things, and to just be that deep and play at that high level. Like I say, it's just been great to witness.
So you talked about this last week with the offensive line, just finding the right personnel to make them gel together. And I think not that the defense is as lax, but I think that's what they're trying to do with the defensive line as well. Figure out which combination of guys work the best together.
Situationally.
So I think we're starting to figure that out. Mason Graham is just a wrecking ball in the middle of that offensive or defensive line. I don't know. he looks like a damn near first round pick. You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
some of those plays that he does, you know, he just different type of finesse moves, power moves. You know, he has a mean streak to him. So I think just him blowing up that middle, Grant coming in after that, you know, just a wave of talent we have coming in
Yeah.
fresh.
And them transfers showing up.
Yes.
Hoffman from Nebraska,
Yep.
Stewart from Coastal Carolina. I mean, Stewart been really
Yes.
getting to it. And then
100%.
got casually sophomore Derek Moore on the edge too. You know, he's got 3-4 sacks. Like, I thought we could just do this for like an hour. We could just continue to, I mean, secondary, you know, or corner, safeties, linebackers, D line, like edge
Yep.
rushing. Like it's
No,
fun.
it's a lot. It's a lot for teams to handle. And I think that's why we can just you know, really bully. We're playing bully ball. You know, obviously JJ gives us a little more finesse when it comes to it, but what we want to do is come in there and pound the rock. And you know that, we know that, the crowd knows that, and teams are having a hard time stopping it. And the addition of how JJ's playing is a lot for teams to handle. That's why I know, you know, I'm riding high, but I think we're going to go in there, or they're going to come to us and just get washed up. This Indiana team, down their quarterback, already 2-3, 4 overtime games. You know, max schools. You know, I think there's a they're going to come in quite overwhelmed.
That was a
And
bar. 4 overtime games, max schools. Not lying though.
Yeah, and we're in progressively getting better week over week. Obviously, we don't want to peak, but I mean, look at East Carolina 30-3 to Minnesota, a Big Ten team 52-10. You know, we're putting it together well. So I think a home game versus Indiana, we don't want to look ahead, obviously, and we all know what's on the prefaces of that with Michigan State coming up. But I think we have to go in there to Indiana, take care of business, and I think we're biting at the chops to go in there, you know, and handle Michigan State. And I think that's, but it starts with going ahead and take care of business versus Indiana. Like I said, down their quarterback. I don't know what, you know. I mean, I guess they technically got a shot in hell, but you know, I feel bad for them already.
Yeah, no, no, I'm with you. I mean, I think, you know, already coming in banged up. This is one of them games, you know, there's not much really need to be said. Just get in, get the job done, get everybody out. You know, we do everything we can, our power to keep everybody healthy. And we still got some people banged up in the secondary. Rob Moore, and a couple other guys just still working through some stuff. And these are just opportunities to just, you know, it's like window dressing. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of come in, vanilla play, you know, vanilla scheme, just, you know, don't get too crazy about, you know what I'm saying? Just really like just execute, put them away quick.
That's what I was gonna say. Not to cut you off, just execute. You know, clean. JJ, don't turn it over. Make sure you're doing big time plays like picking up the blitzes and staying clean, not, you know, staying on your toes as if you're playing another. You know, prepare for the games that you know you need to prepare for in those type of games. So execute.
Yeah, and I think like I said, because it's getting that time. The year we're already halfway through the season, 6-0. I was looking at this schedule. It starts November 11th. It's that playoff.
Yep.
This is our, you know, de facto playoff. We got to go to Penn State, to Maryland, to Ohio. Like you said, not looking too ahead. So, you know, even not even want to look past, you know, going to East Lansing. These games, the ones you just get in, you don't play around, and you just handle them, and you move on to that next week. So that's I expect them to really, you know, go in there, you know, to see JJ continue to execute. Still, you know, hopefully we can just get Edwards rolling a little bit more. You know, just get him, you know, comfortable. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with him and, you know, Mullins. Just, you know, I don't, like I said, Mullins, he's kind of like his run style. I think this kind of fits the team more. But we saw Edwards do what he, you know what I'm saying, do what he did last year, trying the same old line. So it's just interesting watching that unfold. But it's still early. So I'm trying to kind of have the Gibbs approach to it and not, you know, go too crazy. But it's just
No, I
interesting.
wonder what's happening as well. And he's still in the ballpark where he hits a home run, and I think he's back in good graces. I think he just hasn't,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, it hasn't broke yet.
It's bottomed
That's
up.
what he
Yeah.
is. He's that he's the home run hitter. I think we got Blake is the power ball. He's gonna goal line, short yardage. I think he's the guy who's the real needle mover. Supposed to hit those big time runs, difference maker, and for whatever reason, it's just not hit this year
Yeah.
yet. But I think continue to get him the ball, and I think good things will happen. And
That's
only
what
for whatever
end
reason,
zone.
yeah, he is, yeah, and he puts his head down and he just runs hard. And not
It was kind
that
of tough.
Yeah.
When he got to the one that didn't get in, they put Corum in.
Yeah. Hey, that is tough. It's tough. But I think they gotta. I don't want to say this, but they gotta. Corum has a possibility to probably be like the all-time rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yep, I did see that. You're right.
And I think they kind of, why not?
Right.
Reward for coming back.
And yeah. And Edwards, I mean, he gonna get it rolling, but he still should be like a second, third rounder. Easily, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Easily. Like, any of this is like when anything he starts to kind of do to start trending upward is going to do anything. It's just going to help him, especially if we start playing like we are playing in January. So,
100% agree.
So yeah,
I'm with
you. Yeah, yep. I'll kick it off. I think this is going to be like let me say like 45-3, 45-7. Just be in that range. Okay. They might feel like everybody, either sneaks a touchdown or a field goal. Just, the teams come out, scripted plays, they would kind of jump on you quick, but we're gonna, do what we usually do. Joe Clack calls in the boa constrictor, just kind of slowly put teams away. So I just feel like it'll be similar this week.
100%. Okay, I want one. I want a shutout. So if it don't happen this week, it got to happen next week. But okay. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go 38-0.
Okay.
I'm feeling it. I think that defense, they want one too. They've had like I said, Rutgers freak touchdown, Nebraska freak touchdown, Minnesota got a field goal and a freak touchdown on us. Other than that, nobody's really, they haven't moved the ball much. So I think situational with them being a couple guys down, they're not looking so hot anyway. I'm saying 38-0.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, that's more than doable. Like you said, I know they itching for one. It was tough. They lost one in Nebraska, and then even watching that touchdown last week, just kind of fluke. I know they got the field goal too, but I'm with you. I think they really gonna be itching for it now. We can definitely turn the page and just touch on the Detroit Lions, the America's Detroit Lions. They did they did what we expected them to do. This past week's win is kind of based on how the Panthers have looked and how they've kind of lost to other teams. This wasn't. I love just how they just jumped to it and got jumped on them, and I think our score predictions were a lot lower than what they were doing, just kind of given like based on who was missing and who didn't play. That was pretty impressive, but I think at the end of the day, they handled business. Like if they would have lost this game, that would have really been like red flags all around. But I like how they went in there. Once again, got in, got out. We defense started leaking a little bit, but they was just working like hell to just score, make the score look. Bryce Young trying to get some, get stuff kind of worked out. Ended up throwing like 3 touchdowns in the second half. But I just wanted to see what your thoughts were on just how they dominated the Panthers this past weekend.
I was impressed. I was coming off those back-to-back games. Obviously, the Green Bay game not as impressive of a win, but on the road at Green Bay, and then just to come back. The game was in hand most of the game. I think that's something that you typically don't see as a Lions fan. If you do, if the Lions do jump out to a 14-0 lead, you're sitting there waiting for some bad stuff to happen. And that's kind of the the conditioning we got to get out of in our own mind, I guess. But that was just a good change of pace. You know, we got out, you jumped out on them early, stayed on them.
It's a comfortable Sunday afternoon, just like
Yes, 100%. Yeah,
cozy.
it felt in hand the whole time.
Yeah. He's probably checking out other games, just
yeah, a little relaxed. Yeah, we weren't necessarily biting at the fingernails. And we got to tip my hat to Montgomery.
yeah.
Obviously our workhorse, they're pounding rock with that, man. We talked about it right before we hopped on, but currently on pace for 1,300 yards, 20 touchdowns, 300 carries. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So why not keep going to it? Strike while iron top, whatever phrase you want to use. You gotta lean into it while it's working. And it's working with mismatched pieces on that offensive line. We talked about how beat up the offensive line has been, how the receiving core is a little thin, and that run game is sound. And that's something that we had at Michigan. It's something we haven't had at the Lions since I can remember. He's going around on Twitter, but there was a few years back, we couldn't get a 100-yard rusher. Virtually impossible. I think prior to like last year or the year before that, it was Reggie Bush in like 2011. So, but now that's week in and week out with I don't want to say new, but new guys. Last year we were doing it. This year we're doing it. And so I don't know, just excited to see it. Another guy I want to shout out, a person I was a little iffy on. I thought it'd be okay, but Laporta. Laporta seems to be the real deal. They're finding good ways to use him. He can stay on the field. He can block well. He's good after the catch, and most importantly, he can catch. That's something we seem to have an issue with at tight end here around here. So pretty sound hands, good after the catch. Can leave him on the field. It's not just he's only out there if if it's a pass. So I think we picked up a good player. Somebody works well with what we're trying to do.
Yep. Yeah. Laporte has been super impressive. I mean, he even got even talking about him like dating back to the Packers game. He made a couple of contested catches, and I was just like, whoa. And he runs like a wide receiver. So it's just that's pretty impressive. Sucks to just kind of see him on that injury list with a little bit of a calf issue. But yeah, it's no, he hit it right on the head. I echo a lot of that. Don't need to sit here and repeat it. I think we're just really starting to peak. And I think for me, what I've just been a lot more excited about is just that defense, just how it's be just swarming. That pass rush is just getting stronger and stronger. Hutch almost scared me when he got flipped the way he did, but that was an amazing one-handed interception. Pretty sure he has more interceptions than Sauce Gardner. I think he had more interceptions last year than Sauce Gardner did. I think he has like 6. I think Sauce might have had like 1 or 2. But that's just kind of crazy. Like he's like I always knew he'd be a solid all-around guy. I just didn't think he'd be this like I don't know. Like obviously at Michigan, he was a super solid pass rusher, but I didn't think he was going. What I'm saying, like be to that level this quickly, like in the league. Like I knew he was real deal all around, but that his pressures, the sacks he started to just kind of roll in, like even dating back to last year, like it's really in a sense like started to like surprise me a little bit of how like disruptive he's been.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Hutch he's a guy I know we both talked about in semi jokes. We both wanted them to draft him. He landed on us, and then we both were like, "Yeah, we got him." Like, hopefully, he is who we think he is. One of those like you have watched him for 4 years. Hopefully, we weren't too biased.
Right.
And I would say he's exceeding my expectations. Assuming he keeps in the same ballpark for the rest of this year, he's going to end up with 14 plus sacks, another pick or two, maybe a touchdown. He's going to have a crazy year, and if you would have told me, hey, we're going to draft Hutch and he'll give you 2 or 3 seasons of 12, 13, 14 sacks, I would have said, oh, amazing. Not out the gate. And out the gate is that puts you in a different caliber of defensive end. That puts you with the Watts, with the Joey Bosa's and them. That puts you in that category of real difference maker, potential 20 sack a season guy.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, I mean, just like I said, the interceptions, the tackles for loss, the fumble recoveries, like he's just
Yeah,
everywhere.
agile, moving from
D
nose
line,
tackle
edge.
to yeah outside, standing up, coming out like they, and he's yeah
Because he wasn't, he did step a little bit at Michigan. He definitely was doing a little bit, like
stand up.
his last year. Yeah,
Yeah, no, so
he
that's remember
attack.
last year we were
I'm
saying
sorry,
that.
going into coverage, more going like
Oh
the
yeah,
cover.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
my
yeah, as
bad.
far as the standing up, that was his bread and butter at Michigan. Because
Right,
last year,
right.
remember,
Because
like
that's what we
stand
talk about that.
up. Yeah,
Hand the
like stand.
ground, and yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. You know, you're 100% right. I completely forgot about that. But yeah, meant to
Yeah.
say like going into coverage. But yeah, even that, I'm just like, what? You know what I'm
No.
saying? Like it's been yeah, super, super impressive. And I just think that yeah, I think one thing too, is one to even kind of bring up was just, we're gonna maybe try to bring a little bit more juice to to the defense, just so I feel like, man, if we can win a couple of these games and some of these teams out there, you got the Vikings. I mean, they're staring 1-4 in the face. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they lost to the Bears without Justin Jefferson. They got the Chargers they already played the Chargers. They played somebody else pretty tough that following week, so it can get ugly pretty quick. You got a lot of teams, Broncos.
Yeah.
You got Giants. Like you have some teams out there that might be shipping some folks off, depending on how this next month goes.
Agree. Yeah, I think I've been hearing rumors of we might go get somebody, we might go get so and so.
Woodward Sports good for it. They want everybody. They want Janoris
They do.
Jenkins.
I seen him bring him in. Yeah, you working out? Yeah, but I'm always ready. But no, regardless, I don't know. I'm looking ahead to Tampa Bay here. We obviously got flexed,
Yeah.
which typically never happens for the Lions here. But we got flexed primetime game. Like what 4:25, 4:30 kickoff. Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. Interesting little team. I think they were 3-1.
Yeah.
So, they're coming to play. I know, you mentioned their defense earlier and just how stout they are. So kind of what do you expect, heading into this one, prime time, big road win or big road time game. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think we'll only have one other. No, we played this. No, we played in Kansas City too. I was gonna say we have one road game so far, but that's a lie. So
Yeah.
we've had a couple of hostile environments so far.
Mm-hmm.
And I
It's
guess
probably
we're
some of
headed to
the toughest ones.
yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, yeah, it's interesting. I just kind of looked at their schedule. The interesting thing is they played the Vikings, the Bears, took a pretty tough slug to the Eagles, and they beat the Saints. And we can look at all those teams. Saints are solid, but they also gave up an 18-point lead to a team that we just was up 27-3 against in the first half. So there's a lot. There's a lot of things that I feel good about us just from like a matchup standpoint. I think one of the things that just kind of concerns you is just that defense. I know we got some guys that O-line just banged up a little bit. Jahmyr Gibbs most likely not playing just with being like out of practice the last couple of days. St. Brown should be back. Obviously getting JMO back early, that was a nice little shot in the arm. I think we'll be fine in that regard. We just gotta, yeah, really just not shoot ourselves in the foot. They got some solid guys. Guy Vita Vea, that's the guy I'm really, really concerned about. Like him and the linebackers, because he start getting in there. This would be like a game. We'll see. I don't think Gibbs gonna play, but where like you want to really hit on the edges more.
Yeah,
because it's easy to run up the gut, but when you ain't got like not everybody has one of him. So I'll be interested to see how we're able to block him. Make things tough. Just do what we do, like what our identity is, and just what all we need to do, like in the past games. It's kind of offset that pass rush they got overall.
yeah. I think it's cliche because I think a lot of games come down to this, but I really do think this will kind of be a game of turnovers. I think with how stout their defense is, and with how Golf is kind of seem to be lingering with the turnover bug a little bit. Running backs seem to want to cough it up every now and again around here as well. So I think that, and then obviously we all know Baker. Baker is he's flying high.
Up and
Sometimes
down.
when Baker, yep, sometimes if Baker flies high, he comes back down, and he, a guy that I've obviously poke fun with on this podcast, on Twitter or whatever. But I think overall, I think he is serviceable quarterback. But I think he will revert back to the mean. 7 touchdowns, 2 picks this year. Had some good games, but I also just seen him hanging out, at the Texas Oklahoma game. He wasn't, he wasn't studying no film. He was, hanging out, chilling. Obviously, bye week probably, but I think just in general, it shows maybe the mindset that you're in after you kind of shook off this critics and you're back 3-1. Your shoulder's good, but I think the turnovers kind of be the name of the game here. Whoever can be the cleanest team, I think is going to walk away with this one. I think we're pretty evenly matched. Obviously we got to deal with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. That scares me.
There's a chance Evans might not play, so it's
that's true, and that'd be a big help.
Yeah, because one thing I know about them on offense, the depth not that impressive on offense. They if you pull up, I'm going to pull up their depth chart real quick. I mean, like after Mike Evans, like I'm not even trying to say it's like an asshole way. I just don't know who that guy is. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like it's. And you have like you got Chris Godwin, who's obviously like a solid player, but that's one thing I noticed. And just their running back, if you look at like his stats and just he's had kind of a hard time getting it rolling. I'm running the ball. I saw that Jalen Carter punched one out, on them. They were playing the Eagles. That just kind of tells, like you said, on our end, we kind of been, they got some, like you said, this is a very pretty evenly matched overall. So I just think that as long as we go in there and just take care of that football and just I cannot stress, just keeping Jared Goff upright.
And just and another guy you brought up, Vita Vea. Another guy I'm excited to watch. I haven't, so for disclosure, I haven't watched these guys play yet.
Elijah Cansey.
I want to see what he can do. I just looked the stats up. Got a sack and a half already. 20-something tackles. So I think he is who we thought he was as well. So just be excited to see what he what he could do as well. So just a little of the game within the game. Obviously we talk about just stacking up those wins week after week. And the more you can separate yourself in that win column, the less every game becomes a must win. But you look at the Tampa, on the road at Tampa, on the road at Baltimore, Monday night Vegas, on the road at the Chargers. So your next 4 games, 3 are on the road. I think that's a tough little window there, and you got to continue to bank it because this can get out of hand quickly. A lot of road teams in there and a lot of playoff road teams. I imagine Tampa's fighting for their head of their division, fighting for a playoff spot. Baltimore going to be fighting for a playoff spot in the playoffs. Same with the Chargers.
Real deal. This is like I think after that stretch, it had to be like 6-3 at minimum.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like, because I think I think our win predictions are both around like 10, 11 games. I think because this is like really like I think this is kind of like how I looked at like kind of the meat and potatoes of the schedule. This is where it can get a little dicey.
Yep.
I think obviously we stole on Kansas City. We wish we could have got that Seattle one, but it is what it is. We got we took we got one from the Falcons, the Panthers, and Packers. Like it's like you got to see Lamar, you got to see a Super Bowl defense, you got to see the Ravens, excuse me, the Raiders, Devontae Adams, probably the best receiver in the league. Like there's just in prime time, and they're figuring stuff out.
I think you're right about that 6-2 window somewhere in there because then you come back and you flip side to in your division. You got Chicago, Green Bay, New Orleans, Chicago, Minnesota.
So it's like let's get back right, like that.
Get back right.
Stacking
them.
Win the lock up the division by like week 14, like what I'm saying, just we're 15, like kind of however the schedule falls out. Sure. That should be like the I think if we can, I said 2-2, that's being generous. But I think if we can get in 3-1, we get 4-0, might be I might be on here in a full Lions gear at 8-1 when it's all said.
Yeah,
You
a
know,
little odd. We played Minnesota. We don't play them to the last 3 weeks of the
yeah,
year. We play them twice. That's kind of I've
hmm
noticed that. With
weird.
Dallas, or that Dallas sandwiched in the middle.
I can't wait for
Uh,
that Dallas game. That's one that I'm not looking too ahead, but that would be a good like measuring. Like what are we really?
right.
They got some chinks in the armor too.
That'd
So
be good. I'm with you on that. We're looking too far ahead though. What you thinking on
right,
this one
yeah,
here? Tampa Bay. You got to go take care of business.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
I think this one I can see this one being like I'd say like a 24-20. I think we'll play tough. Obviously it's gonna be a home game. They playing those creamsicle uniforms, so it's gonna be a little bit of party on their end. I hope Campbell in there talking like they trying to show out like what y'all gonna do about it. You know what I'm saying? Just as far as I hope they take that like personal, just because like it just whatever it takes, just go in there and just smack them around and just really, really get to it. I think we'll get a couple turnovers out of Baker. I think we're gonna have some, the passing game gonna show out a little bit in that side of things, just with how good they are in the front seven, and and sneak one out, kick a field goal to kind of ice things, late in the fourth.
Okay. Good deal. I ain't mad at that. I'm. We'll see. Maybe this is my hate of Baker. I don't know. Maybe I'm finally drinking the Kool-Aid, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 27-17. Lions. Also, like you said, couple turnovers out of Baker, and just kind of get that out of hand. Maybe Hutch, little couple sacks. Get
Short
make it.
fields,
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to on here.
I like that.
Just and another thing, just looking. I don't know what the Vikings are. I don't know what the Bears are. Just I don't know how trustworthy some of their wins are. So I could think, I'm banking on us. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
27-7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that. The defense keep it at a high level. Make a couple short fields. Hutch keep doing what he's doing, lead the league in pressures, if I'm not mistaken. Last time I saw, all I gotta do is get back there once or twice, and that could literally be be a game changer. Shout out Jerry Jacobs. He has like
Yeah.
3 interceptions, 2 against Green Bay, 1 last week. Cam Sutton, CB1. I think he's given up
Yeah.
like 6 catches all year. So these guys they
Great
might be down
signing.
Mike Evans, so we can
Yeah.
keep Godwin in check and keep that running back bottled up. I think we'll be in good shape.
Yeah. No, for sure. I'm looking forward to this. Should be another good weekend of football here. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we in the middle of it. 60 and 16 football. Crisp air in the morning.
Oh yeah,
Uh, it's that football is here. That fall is here. So,
absolutely.
you got anything
Yeah.
else for the people?
Nope. All good. Be back with y'all next week to talk through the results.
Yes, sir. Peace.